El capitán Alex Morrison despertó con el sonido de las alarmas perforando su cerebro. La nave espacial temblaba violentamente mientras los sistemas fallaban uno tras otro. Sus ojos se abrieron de golpe cuando vio una figura azul corriendo por el pasillo. Sus movimientos eran demasiado elegantes para ser humanos. La criatura se detuvo al verlo. Era una hembra. Eso estaba claro por su forma delicada, pero su piel brillaba con un tono azul metálico que cambiaba según la luz. 4 brazos se movían con gracia mientras intentaba reparar un panel de control dañado. Sus ojos, grandes como platos, lo miraron con una mezcla de miedo y determinación. Alex se incorporó lentamente, sintiendo el dolor en sus costillas por el impacto del aterrizaje forzoso. La nave había sido atacada por piratas espaciales cerca del sistema Kepler, y ahora estaban varados en un planeta desconocido. Su tripulación estaba dispersa, algunos heridos, otros perdidos en la jungla alienígena que rodeaba la nave. La hembra alienígena retrocedió cuando él se acercó. Sus 4 manos temblaron mientras sostenía las herramientas de reparación. Alex notó las marcas en sus muñecas, cicatrices que parecían grilletes. Su corazón se apretó al darse cuenta de lo que significaban. ¿Puedes entenderme?, preguntó Alex en inglés. Luego intentó con el traductor universal que aún funcionaba en su muñeca. Ella asintió lentamente, sus ojos nunca dejando de vigilar sus movimientos. «Soy Zara», dijo con una voz musical que sonaba como campanillas de viento. Soy esclava de los piratas rojos. Ellos destruyeron mi mundo natal hace 5 años. Alex sintió rabia subiendo por su garganta. Los piratas rojos eran conocidos por su crueldad, especialmente con las especies menos desarrolladas tecnológicamente. «¡Ya no eres esclava!», le dijo firmemente. «Estás libre ahora». Zara lo miró con confusión, como si no pudiera comprender el concepto de libertad. «Pero alguien debe ser mi amo. Es la ley. Sin amo, moriré. Mi especie necesita propósito o nuestros corazones se detienen». La explicación la sorprendió. Alex había estudiado xenobiología, pero nunca había escuchado de una especie que dependiera psicológicamente de la servidumbre. Sin embargo, mirando sus ojos desesperados, supo que decía la verdad. «Entonces trabajarás conmigo», dijo Alex, «pero como compañera, no como esclava. Ayúdame a reparar esta nave y encontrar a mi tripulación». Durante las siguientes horas trabajaron lado a lado. Zara demostró ser increíblemente hábil con la tecnología, sus 4 brazos permitiéndole hacer reparaciones complejas que habrían tomado horas a un humano. Alex observó cómo su confianza crecía gradualmente, aunque seguía esperando órdenes antes de cada acción. Cuando el sol alienígena comenzó a ponerse pintando el cielo de colores púrpura y dorado, encontraron a 3 miembros de la tripulación heridos cerca del río. Zara los curó con una pasta hecha de plantas locales, sus conocimientos médicos impresionando a todos. Esa noche, mientras los demás dormían, Alex y Zara montaron guardia juntos. Ella le contó sobre su planeta Azuera, donde su pueblo vivía en ciudades cristalinas bajo 3 lunas. Los piratas habían llegado prometiendo comercio, pero trajeron cadenas. «Mi familia murió defendiendo nuestra ciudad», susurró Zara, sus ojos brillando con lágrimas azules. «Yo sobreviví porque era joven y fuerte para el trabajo». Alex puso su mano suavemente sobre una de las suyas. «Lamento tu pérdida, pero ahora tienes una nueva oportunidad de vida». Zara lo miró con algo que él no pudo identificar completamente. «¿Por qué eres amable conmigo?» Los piratas decían que todos los humanos eran crueles como ellos. «Porque todos los seres merecen dignidad y respeto», respondió Alex simplemente. En ese momento, rugidos extraños resonaron desde la jungla. Algo grande se acercaba a su campamento, y las armas que tenían no serían suficientes para lo que venía. Los días siguientes se convirtieron en una lucha constante por la supervivencia. La vida salvaje del planeta era hostil, y los recursos escaseaban. Zara demostró ser invaluable, no solo por sus habilidades técnicas, sino por su conocimiento de plantas comestibles y medicinales que había aprendido durante años de esclavitud en diferentes mundos. Alex comenzó a admirar no solo su competencia, sino su espíritu indomable. A pesar de años de abuso, Zara mantenía una gentileza y curiosidad por el mundo que lo conmovía profundamente. Ella hacía preguntas sobre la Tierra, sobre las costumbres humanas, sobre el concepto de elección libre. Una mañana mientras reparaban el motor principal, Sarah trabajaba con una concentración tan intensa que Alex se detuvo solo para observarla. La forma en que sus 4 brazos se coordinaban era como una danza, y cuando finalmente terminó, se volvió hacia él con una sonrisa que iluminó todo su ser. Fue en ese momento que Alex se dio cuenta de que había caído enamorado de esta extraordinaria mujer alienígena. Durante una tormenta particularmente violenta, Sarah reveló más sobre la cultura de su especie. En Azur era cuando alguien salvaba tu vida, le debías servicio eterno, explicó mientras sellaba una grieta en el casco. Pero también teníamos algo llamado enlace de almas. Cuando 2 personas se conectaban profundamente, podían elegir unir sus vidas. Alex sintió su corazón acelerarse. ¿Cómo funcionaba eso? Era una ceremonia hermosa bajo las 3 lunas. Las 2 almas prometían cuidarse mutuamente, compartir alegrías y penas, crear una nueva familia juntas. La tormenta pasó, y con ella llegó la oportunidad que Alex había estado esperando. Los sistemas de comunicación finalmente funcionaron lo suficiente para enviar una señal de socorro. Ayuda estaba en camino, pero esa noche mientras contemplaba las estrellas alienígenas, Alex se dio cuenta de que no quería que esto terminara. No quería decir adiós a Sarah. No quería regresar a su vida anterior sin ella. Había encontrado algo que nunca supo que estaba buscando, y la idea de perderlo lo aterrorizaba más que cualquier peligro que hubieran enfrentado en este planeta hostil. La mañana del rescate llegó demasiado pronto. Las naves de la flota terrestre aparecieron en el horizonte como puntos brillantes contra el cielo púrpura. Sarah estaba de pie junto a Alex observando su salvación con una expresión que él no podía interpretar. «Pronto estarás de vuelta con tu gente», dijo ella suavemente, «y yo encontraré otro lugar donde ser útil». Alex se volvió hacia ella, su decisión ya tomada. Las palabras salieron de su corazón antes de que su mente pudiera detenerlas. «Sarah», dijo, tomando sus 4 manos entre las suyas, «no quiero que encuentres otro lugar.
Quiero que vengas conmigo, no como mi subordinada o mi esclava.
Quiero que seas mi esposa». El efecto fue inmediato. Sarah se quedó completamente inmóvil, sus ojos grandes fijos en él con shock absoluto. Por un momento, Alex pensó que había cometido un terrible error, que había malinterpretado todo entre ellos. Entonces las naves de rescate aterrizaron, y el mundo cambió para siempre. Captain Jake Patterson had seen many strange things during his 20 years in the Deep Space Fleet. But nothing had prepared him for what he witnessed when his rescue team landed on the uncharted planet. His veteran crew, hardened by countless missions, stood in stunned silence as they observed the scene before them. A human officer knelt before a blue-skinned alien female, holding her 4 hands in his, while she remained frozen like a statue. The alien's large eyes were wide with an expression that seemed to combine terror, hope, and disbelief in equal measure. Her metallic blue skin shimmered in the alien's sunlight, and Jake could see the unmistakable marks of former bondage on her wrists. «Captain Morrison», Jake called out as he approached with his medical team. «Are you injured? We received your distress signal 3 days ago». Alex slowly released Sarah's hands and stood, though his eyes never left her face. «We're alive, Captain Patterson, thanks to her». A gestured toward Sarah, who still hadn't moved. «This is Sarah. She saved all of us». Dr. Lisa Chen, the fleet's leading xenobiologist, stepped forward with her scanner. «Sir, I'm detecting some unusual biological readings. Her heart rate has dropped to almost nothing, but she's not dying. It's more like she's in some kind of stasis». Jake noticed the other survivors of the crash emerging from the damaged vessel. They all looked healthy considering their ordeal, and several of them kept glancing at the alien female with expressions of gratitude and concern. «What happened here, Morrison?» Jake asked. «And why is she frozen like that?» Alex ran his hand through his hair, a gesture Jake recognized as one of his nervous habits. «She was a slave to the Red Pirates, the ones who attacked us. Her species has some kind of psychological dependence on having a purpose, a bond with someone. Without it, they literally die. And the freezing? I asked her to marry me», Alex said simply, though his voice carried the weight of uncertainty. «I think I may have broken her». Dr. Chen looked up from her readings with fascination. «Captain, I've studied 17 different sentient species and I've never seen anything like this. Her neural activity is off the charts, but her body has essentially shut down all non-essential functions.
It's as if her mind is processing something so significant that everything else has stopped.
Lieutenant Commander Ryan Foster, Jake's second-in-command, stepped closer to examine the situation. Sir, we need to get everyone aboard the rescue ships. This planet shows signs of increasing seismic activity. We should evacuate immediately. We're not leaving without her, Alex said firmly. She's part of my crew now. Jake studied his fellow captain's face and recognized something he'd seen before in officers who'd been through traumatic experiences together. But this was different. This wasn't just battlefield bonding. This was something deeper. Morrison, you can't just adopt an alien refugee and expect— She's not a refugee, Alex interrupted. She's the woman I love and I ask her to be my wife, if she'll have me. The words hung in the air like a challenge. Jake had known Alex for 15 years, had served with him on 3 different vessels, and had never seen him like this. The man who stood before him was completely transformed. Dr. Chen approached Sarah with her scanner, moving slowly so as not to startle her.
A species is called Azuran, she said, reading from her device. I have some data from the Senological database.
They're from the Outer Rim, Sector 7. Their planet was destroyed by pirates 5 years ago.
That matches what she told me, Alex confirmed. She was one of the survivors. According to this data, Azurans have a unique psychological trait.
They form intense emotional bonds that are essential to their survival. Without these bonds, they experience what's called soul death. Dr. Chen looked up from her scanner with wide eyes. Captain Morrison, do you understand what you've done? I've asked the woman I love to marry me, Alex replied. Same as any human would. No, sir. In Azuran culture, a propósito of marriage is called a soul joining. It's not just an emotional commitment, it's a biological one. When an Azuran accepts a soul joining, their neural pathways literally rewire to bond with their partner. It's permanent and irreversible. Jake felt a chill run down his spine. And if they reject it, the shock can kill them. Dr. Chen sighed quietly. That's why she's frozen. Her body is protecting itself while her mind processes your proposal. She's essentially deciding whether to live or die. The rescue team stood in stunned silence as the implications sank in. Alex had unknowingly placed this alien woman in a position where her life hung in the balance of her answer to his proposal.
How long does this process take?
Alex asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The data isn't clear. It could be minutes, hours, or days. But, Captain, there's something else you need to know. If she accepts your proposal, you'll be bonded too. Azuran soul joining affects both partners.
Your neural chemistry will change. You'll be able to sense her emotions, her thoughts, even her physical state.
It's deeper than any human relationship. Alex knelt beside Sarah again, studying her beautiful, motionless face. And if I hadn't proposed, if I'd just let her come with us as a refugee, she would have died within days, Dr. Chen said. Her species needs purpose, a connection. Without the bond she had with her captors, terrible as it was, she was already beginning to fade. You saved her life by offering her a new bond. Lieutenant Foster checked his chronometer. Sirs, we really need to evacuate. The seismic readings are getting worse. Jake made a command decision. We take her with us, frozen or not. Dr. Chen, prepare a medical stasis unit on the ship. We'll monitor her there. As the rescue team carefully lifted Sarah's motionless form, Alex remained by her side. A spoke to her softly, though he wasn't sure she could hear him. I meant what I said, Sarah. I don't care about neural bonding or alien customs. I know what I feel, and know what I saw in your eyes these past weeks. You're not alone anymore, no matter what you decide. The evacuation proceeded smoothly with the survivors loaded onto 2 rescue vessels. Sarah was placed in the medical bay of Jake's ship, surrounded by monitoring equipment that tracked every aspect of her condition. Alex refused to leave her side, even when Jake ordered him to report for the briefing. Hours passed as they traveled toward the nearest space station. Dr. Chen provided regular updates on Sarah's condition. But there was little change. Her body remained in its protective stasis, while her mind wrestled with the decision that would determine both their fates. Jake found Alex in the medical bay during the ship's night cycle, sitting beside Sarah's bed, holding one of her 4 hands. The captain looked exhausted, but his eyes never left her face. "You know," Jake said, settling into a chair beside his friend, "in all my years of service, I've seen humans fall in love with alien cultures, alien worlds, even alien technologies. But I never expected it either," Alex admitted. "When I first saw her, she was just another being in distress. But working beside her, seeing her strength, her kindness despite everything she'd endured, she's remarkable, Jake. She deserves a chance at happiness. Even if it means changing what you are fundamentally?" Alex was quiet for a long moment.
I've been thinking about that. Maybe I'm not changing into something different.
"Maybe I'm finally becoming who I was meant to be." The ship's intercom crackled to life. "Captain Patterson to Medical Bay. We have an incoming priority message from Fleet Command." Jake sighed and stood. "I handle it. Stay with her." As Jake left, Alex returned his attention to Sarah. Her breathing was so shallow, it was barely perceptible, but the monitors confirmed she was stable. He began to talk to her, sharing stories of Earth, of his childhood, of his dreams for the future. He told her about the sunrise over the Pacific Ocean, about the smell of rain on summer evenings, about all the beautiful things he wanted to show her.
"I know you're scared," he whispered. "I'm scared too."
"But we faced worse things together than uncertainty about the future. Whatever happens, whatever you decide, I'll respect it."
Please, don't die.
"The universe needs people like you."
Chen entered the medical bay carrying a datapad. "Captain Morrison, I've been researching Azuran culture more deeply. There's something fascinating about their bonding customs." Alex looked up hopefully. "What did you find?" "On their homeworld, before the pirates came, soul-joining ceremonies were elaborate celebrations that lasted for days. The entire community would participate because they believed that when 2 souls joined, it strengthened everyone. The bond was seen as a gift not just to the couple, but to their entire people." "That's beautiful," Alex said, though he wasn't sure how it helped their current situation.
"But here's the interesting part," Dr. Chen continued.
"In cases where an Azuran was bonded to someone from another species, the ceremony required witnesses from both cultures. It was a way of ensuring that the bond was understood and accepted by both communities." Alex felt his heart race. "Are you saying?" "I'm saying that if she accepts your proposal, you'll need to have a proper ceremony, and as the senior medical officer and xenobiologist present, I would be honored to serve as witness for the human side." Before Alex could respond, Jake returned with a grim expression. "That was Fleet Command. They want a full report on the alien survivor, and they're sending a xenological research team to study her."
"They've classified her as a scientific asset."
The words hit Alex like a physical blow. "They want to study her? She's not a specimen. She's a person. I know that and you know that, but to them she's a member of a species they've never encountered before. Her knowledge of pirate operations, her technical skills, her unique biology. They see potential intelligence value. Over my dead body," Alex said, standing. "She's been enslaved enough for one lifetime." Jake held up his hands.
"Calm down. I'm on your side here."
"But we need to be smart about this. If she accepts your proposal and you go through with this soul-joining ceremony, she becomes your wife. Human wives have certain legal protections that refugees don't." The irony wasn't lost on Alex. To save Thara from scientific bondage, he needed her to accept a different kind of bond. But this one would be chosen freely, based on love rather than exploitatio. As if responding to their conversation, Thara's breathing suddenly deepened. Her eyelids fluttered, and a soft sound escaped her lips.
"I-37 minutes lead, forward fighting."
"She's coming out of it, Dr. Cuentoega," Chen sighed. Checking her readings, neural activity is normalizing but is different than before. More complex, more integrated. Thara's large eyes opened slowly, focusing on Alex's face with an intensity that made his breath catch. When she spoke, her voice was stronger than he'd ever heard it. Alex Morrison, she said, pronouncing each syllable carefully. You asked me to be your wife. En los días siguientes, Sarah se recuperó completamente del estado de estasis, pero algo había cambiado en ella. Sus movimientos eran más seguros, sus ojos brillaban con una nueva determinación. Dr. Chen explicó que el proceso de considerar la unión de almas había alterado su química cerebral de maneras sutiles pero significativas. He decidido aceptar tu propuesta, le dijo Sarah a Alex mientras caminaban por la cubierta de observación de la estación espacial. Las estrellas brillaban a través de las ventanas transparentes, creando un ambiente íntimo y sereno. Pero necesitas entender completamente lo que esto significa. Alex se detuvo y la miró directamente. Dímelo todo. Quiero saber exactamente lo que estoy pidiendo. Sarah extendió sus 4 brazos, tomando las manos de él entre las suyas. La unión de almas azureana no es solo matrimonio como lo entienden los humanos. Es una conexión permanente entre 2 seres. Sentirás mis emociones, mis dolores, mis alegrías. Cuando esté herida, tú lo sabrás instantáneamente. Cuando esté feliz, esa felicidad se multiplicará en tu corazón.
¿Y tú sentirás lo mismo de mí? Sí, pero hay más. Mi especie vive mucho más tiempo que los humanos.
Normalmente vivimos 300 años terrestres. Si nos unimos, tu vida se extenderá para igualar la mía. Tu cuerpo cambiará lentamente, volviéndose más resistente, más fuerte. Alex sintió un escalofrío de emoción y terror. Me convertiré en algo diferente. Te convertirás en la mejor versión de ti mismo, dijo Sarah suavemente, pero seguirás siendo humano. La unión de almas no cambia la esencia de quien eres, solo amplifica tus capacidades y tu conexión conmigo. Durante los días siguientes, Alex tuvo que enfrentar la realidad de su decisión. El capitán Patterson lo llamó a su oficina varias veces para discutir las implicaciones legales y militares de su situación. La flota nunca ha tenido que lidiar con algo así, admitió Jake durante una de sus conversaciones. Matrimonio interespecie es una cosa, pero esto es algo completamente nuevo. ¿Eso significa que no pueden detenerlo? Técnicamente, no. Tienes derecho a casarte con quien elijas, siempre y cuando ambas partes consienta. Pero Alex, una vez que hagas esto, no habrá vuelta atrás, y la flota va a querer estudiar los efectos de la unión en ti. Alex lo consideró cuidadosamente. Como conejillo de indias, como el primer humano en experimentar este tipo de vínculo alienígena. Piénsalo, amigo. Los datos que proporciones podrían revolucionar nuestra comprensión de las relaciones interespecies. Esa noche, Alex compartió las preocupaciones de Jake con Sarah. Ella escuchó en silencio sus grandes ojos reflejando las luces de la estación espacial. En mi mundo, dijo finalmente, creíamos que el conocimiento debía compartirse para el beneficio de todos. Si nuestra unión puede ayudar a otras especies a entenderse mejor, entonces es un honor contribuir. Su sabiduría lo asombró una vez más. Aquí estaba una mujer que había perdido todo, que había sido esclavizada durante años, y aún así pensaba en el bien mayor. Dr. Chen se acercó a ellos mientras contemplaban su decisión final. He estado investigando los precedentes legales, dijo. Resulta que hay 3 casos documentados de matrimonios interespecies que resultaron en cambios biológicos permanentes. En cada caso, la flota terrestre reconoció la validez del matrimonio y proporcionó protecciones legales para ambas partes. ¿Qué tipo de protecciones?, preguntó Alex. Principalmente que no pueden separarte de tu esposa para propósitos de investigación sin tu consentimiento, y cualquier estudio debe ser voluntario y beneficiar a ambas partes.
Sarah apretó la mano de Alex.
Entonces no hay nada que nos detenga. La ceremonia se programó para la semana siguiente. Dr. Chen había trabajado con Sarah para reconstruir tanto como fuera posible las tradiciones azureanas, mientras que el capellán Rodríguez representaría las costumbres humanas. Durante los preparativos, Alex conoció más sobre la cultura perdida de Sarah. Ella le describió las ciudades cristalinas de Azuera, donde su gente vivía en armonía con la naturaleza y la tecnología. Le habló de las 3 lunas que iluminaban sus noches, de los jardines flotantes donde crecían plantas que cambiaban de color con las emociones de quienes las tocaban. Mi familia habría amado conocerte, le dijo una tarde mientras decoraban la capilla de la estación. Mi padre era ingeniero como tú. Mi madre era sanadora. Habrían visto en ti la bondad que yo veo. Desearía haber podido conocerlos, respondió Alex sinceramente. Desearía poder prometerte que reconstruiremos tu mundo. No necesitamos reconstruir a Sojera, dijo Sara sorprendiéndolo. Necesitamos crear algo nuevo, algo que combine lo mejor de nuestros dos mundos. La noche antes de la ceremonia, Alex no pudo dormir. Caminó por los pasillos de la estación, pensando en todo lo que estaba a punto de cambiar. Se encontró en la cubierta de observación donde había pasado tantas horas hablando con Sara. Ella ya estaba allí, mirando las estrellas.
¿También estás nerviosa?,
le preguntó Alex. No nerviosa, dijo ella. Emocionada. Por primera vez en 5 años tengo algo que esperar con ansias en lugar de algo que temer. Se quedaron juntos en silencio contemplando el vasto universo que pronto explorarían como socios unidos. Alex pensó en todos los desafíos que enfrentarían, todas las aventuras que los esperaban, todas las formas en que cambiarían el uno al otro, y el mundo que los rodeaba. Zara, dijo finalmente, ¿alguna vez te arrepientes de haber sobrevivido a la destrucción de tu mundo? Ella lo miró con sorpresa. ¿Por qué preguntas eso? Porque si no hubiera sobrevivido, nunca habría sido esclavizada, nunca habría sufrido tanto. Zara tomó su rostro entre sus 4 manos, sus ojos brillando con una intensidad que lo atravesó. Si no hubiera sobrevivido, nunca te habría conocido, nunca habría aprendido que el universo todavía contiene bondad y amor. El sufrimiento me trajo hasta ti, Alex. No cambiaría nada. Sus palabras lo llenaron de una paz profunda. Mañana, sus vidas cambiarían para siempre. Pero esta noche, bajo las estrellas que habían sido testigos de tantas historias de amor a través de la galaxia, Alex supo que estaba tomando la decisión correcta. La ceremonia sería solo el comienzo de su verdadera aventura juntos. The morning of the ceremony dawned with unusual beauty aboard the space station. The artificial sunrise systems had been programmed to create a spectacular light show that painted the observation decks in shades of gold and silver, reminiscent of both Earth's sunrises and the triple dawn that once graced Asura. Alex stood before the mirror in his quarters, adjusting the formal dress uniform he had worn only twice before in his career. His hands shook slightly as he fastened the ceremonial insignia, not from fear, but from anticipation. Today would mark the beginning of something unprecedented in human history. Captain Patterson entered without knocking, carrying a small wooden box. From the crew of your old ship, he said, handing it to Alex. They wanted you to have something from home. Inside the box was a simple gold ring, clearly handmade, with an inscription in various languages from Earth. Alex read aloud, "Love transcends all boundaries." The engineers worked on it during their off hours, Jake explained. They used metal salvaged from your crashed ship. Figure it was fitting. Alex slipped the ring onto his finger, feeling its weight as both a comfort and a reminder of the community that supported him. Thank you. This means everything. You sure you're ready for this? Jake asked, studying his friend's face. Once you walk down that aisle, there's no turning back. I've never been more certain of anything in my life. Meanwhile, in another section of the station, Zara prepared for the ceremony, with the help of Dr. Cheng and several female crew members who had volunteered to assist. They had worked together to create a wedding dress that honored both cultures, incorporating flowing white fabric in human tradition with intricate blue threading that matched her skin tone. Dr. Chen had spent hours researching Ajuran wedding customs and had managed to synthesize a substance that would glow softly when applied to Sarah's skin, mimicking the ceremonial paints her people once used for soul-joining rituals. In my culture, Sarah explained as Lisa carefully applied the glowing designs to her arms. These patterns tell the story of the bride's journey to find her soulmate. Each symbol represents a challenge overcome, a lesson learned.
"What does this one mean?" asked Lieutenant Sarah Williams, pointing to a complex spiral pattern on Zara's shoulder. "It represents the destruction of my old life and the birth of something new."
In Asuar philosophy, we believe that sometimes things must be completely destroyed before they can be rebuilt better than before. As the ceremony time approached, the station's chapel filled with an unusual mixture of beings. Human crew members sat alongside representatives from 3 other allied species who happened to be aboard the station. Word of the historic ceremony had spread, and many had requested permission to witness this unprecedented union. Chaplain Rodriguez, a keen man in his 60s who had performed hundreds of weddings during his service, admitted to Alex beforehand that this was entirely new territory for him. "I've studied what little we know about Ayuran customs," he said, "but I'm relying on Dr. Cole, Chen and Sarah herself to guide us through their traditions." The ceremony began with traditional human elements. Alex walked down the aisle accompanied by Captain Patterson as his best man, while the station's string quartet played a piece he had chosen, Canon in D, the same piece his parents had used at their wedding 40 years ago. When Sarah appeared at the opposite end of the chapel, the collective intake of breath from the assembled guests was audible. She moved with ethereal grace, her forearms carrying symbolic items from both cultures. In one hand she held a small crystal that glowed with inner light, a fragment from her destroyed homeworld that she had somehow managed to preserve through years of captivity. In another, she carried a bouquet of flowers that Dr. Chen had grown specially for the occasion, genetically modified to bloom in the station's artificial environment. As Jay walked toward Alex, Sarah began to sing softly in her native language, a haunting melody that seemed to resonate in the metal walls of the chapel itself. Dr. Chen whispered translations to those nearby. It was a traditional Ayuran wedding song about two souls finding each other across the vastness of space. When Sarah reached the altar, she and Alex faced each other while Chaplain Rodriguez began the ceremony with words that had been carefully crafted to honor both traditions. "We gather today to witness something that has never before occurred in recorded history," he began. "The union of two souls from different worlds, different species, but united by love, respect, and mutual dedication." The first part of the ceremony followed human customs, with traditional vows adapted for their unique situation. Alex spoke first, his voice strong and clear despite the magnitude of the moment.
"Sarah, when I first met you, I thought I was saving your life."
"I had no idea that you were saving mine. You have shown me strength in the face of unimaginable suffering, kindness despite cruelty, and hope when hope seemed impossible. I promise to stand beside you as we explore this universe together, to honor both your world and mine in everything we do, and to love you with every breath I take, for as long as both our hearts beat." Sarah's response brought tears to many eyes in the chapel. "Alex Morrison, you showed me that freedom is not just the absence of chains, but the presence of choice. You gave me back my right to choose my own destiny, and I choose you. I promise to share with you all that I am and all that I know, to build with you something beautiful from the ashes of what we have lost, and to love you with the intensity of three suns shining on a world that lives now only in memory." Then came the Asura's instructions and Dr. Chen's research. Sarah and Alex each placed their hands on a device that Dr. Chen had constructed based on ancient Ayurian texts, a crystalline structure that would monitor their neural patterns as the soul bond formed. "In the tradition of my people," Sarah announced to the assembled witnesses, "we now open our souls to each other completely. What you will witness is not just a promise, but a biological reality. Our minds will connect in ways that your science is only beginning to understand." As they maintained contact with the crystal device, both Alex and Sarah began to experience the first effects of the soul bond. Alex felt a warm sensation spreading through his mind, followed by flashes of images and emotions that were not his own. Eso glimpses of Asura, as it had been before the pirates came, felt echoes of Sarah's pain during her years of captivity, and most overwhelming of all, experienced the pure joy she felt at this moment. Sarah gasped softly as Alex's memories flooded into her consciousness. She saw Earth through his eyes, felt his love for his parents, experienced his dedication to his crew, and understood for the first time the depth of loneliness he had carried before meeting her. Dr. Chen monitored the readings on her instruments with fascination. "The neural integration is proceeding exactly as the ancient text described," she whispered to Captain Patterson. "Their brain patterns are synchronizing, creating new pathways that will link them permanently." The process took nearly an hour, during which the wedding guests witnessed something unprecedented in human experience. Both Alex and Sarah stood motionless, their eyes closed as their minds adapted to accommodate the presence of another consciousness. And they finally opened their eyes and looked at each other. Everyone in the chapel could see that something fundamental had changed. "It is done," Sarah said, though her voice seemed to carry harmonics that hadn't been there before. We are joined. Alex nodded, marveling at the new sensations flooding his awareness. He could feel Sarah's heartbeat as clearly as his own, could sense her emotions as a warm presence in the back of his mind. More than that, it felt stronger, more alive, as if he had been operating at half capacity his entire life without realizing it. Chaplain Rodriguez, though clearly awed by what he had witnessed, completed the ceremony with traditional human elements. By the power vested in me by the United Earth Fleet, and in the presence of these witnesses, I now pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride. The kiss that followed was unlike anything either of them had ever experienced. With their souls now joined, the simple physical contact created a feedback loop of emotion and sensation that left them both breathless. The assembled guests erupted in applause, knowing they had witnessed something that would be talked about for generations. As the reception began in the station's main dining hall, Alex and Sarah found themselves constantly surprised by the new sensations of their bond. They could communicate without words, sharing thoughts and feelings with an intimacy that surpassed anything they had imagined. How do you feel? Dr. Chen asked them during the celebration. Her scientific curiosity barely contained. Complete, Alex answered, while Sarah nodded in agreement. Like I've been carrying around half a soul my entire life and just found the other half. Captain Patterson raised a toast to the couple, his words carrying the weight of history. To Alex and Sarah Morrison, who have shown us that love truly knows no boundaries. May your union bring peace between worlds and hope for the future of all sentient beings. As the evening progressed, Alex and Sarah began to notice other changes beyond the emotional bond. Alex's reflexes seemed faster, his thinking clearer, while Sarah appeared more at ease with human social customs than ever before. They were becoming something new together, something greater than either could have been alone. Later that night, as they stood once again on the observation deck watching the stars, Dara spoke softly about their future. The bond will continue to strengthen over the coming months. We will learn to share not just thoughts and feelings, but skills and knowledge. What I know of technology, you will gradually learn. What you know of leadership and exploration, I will absorb. Alex asked, surprising himself with the question. Sarah smiled, an expression of pure joy that he felt echo in his own heart through their bond. Our children will be remarkable, Alex. They will carry the best of both our species, bridges between worlds that will help heal the divisions in this universe. As they looked out at the endless expanse of space, both Alex and Sarah felt a sense of destiny settling around them. Their love story had begun with a desperate proposal on a hostile alien world, but it would become something that changed the course of interspecies relations forever. The universe was vast and full of wonders they had yet to discover, and now they would explore it together. Two souls joined as one, facing whatever challenges lay ahead, with the strength that comes only from perfect unity and unconditional love.